Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsaf Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. Pakistan has launched retaliatory strikes against militants in Iran. A statement by Pakistan's Foreign Office has confirmed the attacks. Islamabad said that the strikes were targeted against terrorist hideouts in the Sistan-o-Balochistan province of Iran. Iranian state media reported that 3 women and 4 children were killed in the Pakistani attacks. The strikes come after Iran carried out attacks against a terrorist group in Pakistan on Tuesday. The United States has relisted Yemen's Houthi rebels as a global terrorist group. This is in response to their relentless attacks on commercial ships in the Red Sea. The U.S. State Department has said that the designation will take effect in 30 days. Officials said they would design the financial penalties to minimize harm to Yemen's 32 million people. War-torn Yemen is among the world's poorest and hungriest countries. U.S. members of Congress held a vigil on the steps of the Capitol building. They prayed for the roughly 100 hostages who remain in Hamas captivity. Hamas took over 200 hostages during its October 7th attack on Israel. In November, about 100 of them were returned during a temporary truce. Meanwhile, more than 24,000 Palestinians have died in Gaza ever since the Israel-Hamas war broke out. The Israeli army has said that it destroyed rocket launchers located at Gaza's Bureij region. These were allegedly used by Hamas to fire a barrage of rockets towards Israel this week. On Tuesday, approximately 25 rockets were fired towards the city of Netivot in southern Israel. Hamas has agreed to a deal to bring medication into Gaza for Israeli hostages. That is on the condition that it will include medication for Palestinians as well. A shipment of medicinal aid for dozens of hostages held by Hamas is en route to Gaza. It also includes medicine and other humanitarian aid for Palestinians living in the besieged enclave. This comes after France and Qatar mediated the first agreement between Israel and Hamas since the truce in November last year. British Parliament has approved a controversial Rwanda asylum bill. This will allow the country to send refugees arriving in the UK to Rwanda. UK PM Rishi Sunak overcame a rebellion within his party to win a vote on the law. Sunak's party is deeply divided over the bill. While some lawmakers think that the plan is extreme, others think it does not do enough to control immigration. Tensions have flared up again in the South American country of Ecuador. A prosecutor investigating last week's attack on the sets of a television channel has been shot dead. Prosecutor Cesar Suarez was shot while driving a vehicle. Police say they are working to find those responsible for his murder. Ecuador has been rocked by a wave of violence since the start of the year. South Korean and U.S. nuclear envoys met in Seoul today. They discussed tensions in the Korean peninsula. The two are scheduled to meet with Japan's nuclear envoy later in the day. This comes amid heightened threats from nuclear-armed North Korea. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has tested a slew of weapons in the past few weeks. Last year, Pyongyang also launched its first-ever spy satellite, further stoking regional tensions. Taiwan's defense ministry said it detected 18 Chinese Air Force planes operating around Taiwan yesterday. It added that 11 of those aircraft crossed the Taiwan Strait's median line. This marks China's first large-scale military activity near the island after the Taiwanese election. Meanwhile, China has accused Taiwan's ruling party of setting obstacles by seeking independence. China views Taiwan as its own territory, however, Taipei rejects Beijing's claims. China and the Philippines have agreed to improve maritime communication. China's assistant foreign minister and a Filipino foreign ministry official held talks. The officials have decided to manage conflicts and differences over the South China Sea through friendly talks. The two countries have had numerous confrontations recently in disputed areas of the South China Sea. Both countries have traded accusations of provoking conflict in the region. S. Iswaran has resigned as Singapore's transport minister after being charged with corruption. This is one of the most high-profile graft cases involving a Singaporean minister in decades. Iswaran is accused of accepting bribes worth more than $200,000. In his resignation letter, Iswaran said that he rejected the charges and will focus on clearing his name. At least 18 people have been killed in an explosion at a fireworks factory in Thailand. The cause of the explosion was not immediately clear. Footage showed a thick plume of black smoke over the scene. Emergency workers were seen removing bodies from the scene of the deadly blast. The United Nations has expressed concern at the deterioration of the humanitarian situation in Ethiopia. A UN spokesperson said that multiple and overlapping crises have severely weakened the situation in the country. He added that this has affected people's ability to cope with climate shocks, leaving people, especially in regions like Afar, Amhara, Tigray and Oromia, more vulnerable. On to climate news. Heavy snowfall and freezing rain in Germany led to the cancellations of hundreds of flights and trains. Major airports in Frankfurt and Munich experienced significant flight disruptions. The national train operator Deutsche Bahn imposed speed limits due to the extreme weather. The icy roads led to vehicle crashes across western and southern Germany. From 1985 to 2022, Greenland lost thousands of kgs of ice sheet. This is according to a study published by a British nature journal. The loss is because of glaciers retreating and shedding ice as chunks break away from them. The researchers used thousands of satellite images and AI observation to reach their conclusion. North India is expected to experience foggy mornings and cold conditions till the 22nd of January. India's National Weather Department says the cold wave will persist in parts of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Dense fog is also predicted for various northern regions until the 19th of January. However, this year's lack of snowfall and rain has increased the risk of forest fires in India's Uttarakhand region. It recorded the highest number of fire alerts between the 9th of January till the 16th. Uttarakhand received less than 75% of its annual average rainfall in December. The dry weather is also expected to lead to water scarcity. An ocean census program in Spain's Canary Island region has discovered dozens of new marine species. The list includes sea creatures like marine snails, sea urchins, sea slugs, flatworms and shrimp. Some of these are only visible under a microscope. With this discovery, scientists have emphasized the need for ocean protection. Mining activities at a nickel industrial park in Indonesia have been linked to mass deforestation. A report by a U.S. climate rights organization says that these activities are mainly backed by Chinese companies. It raises ecological concerns amid Indonesia's efforts to attract investment in nickel processing. Nickel is used to make coins, alloys, batteries and wires, among other things. According to research, Bangladesh's climate crisis may increase the risk of cancer in the region. Extreme weather events are causing increased arsenic contamination in water. A U.S. study highlights the potential exacerbation of a public health crisis, including skin, bladder and lung cancers due to arsenic. On to business and tech news. Meta Platforms' former Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg has said that she is planning to exit the company's board. Sandberg announced this on a Facebook post yesterday. She is planning to step down from her position after her term ends in May this year. Responding to Sandberg's post, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said he looks forward to a new chapter together. In 2022, Sandberg had stepped down as Meta's operating chief after 14 years. Apple has overtaken Samsung to become the top smartphone seller globally. This is according to a report from International Data Corps. Samsung has now been pushed to the second position, ending its 12-year run as the largest seller of smartphones. It is followed by Chinese phone makers Xiaomi, Oppo and Transsion. Yet another series of layoffs has hit Google, this time at its video sharing platform YouTube. According to a report, the company will fire 100 employees. However, the affected employees will have a chance to apply for other positions at the company. Since the start of the year, Google has announced at least 3 rounds of job cuts. This has affected more than 1,000 employees. Layoff concerns are not dying down anytime soon for Google employees. According to a report, CEO Sundar Pichai told employees to expect more job cuts this year. Pichai said that the layoffs will focus on removing layers to simplify execution at the big tech firm. Meanwhile, Google has said it will tweak online search results for users in the European Union. The company will give competition sites more prominence. The changes are aimed at complying with the EU's Digital Markets Act. Under this, Google is obligated to treat rival services and products the same way as it treats its own. The US state of Iowa has sued video sharing platform TikTok. It has accused the company of misleading parents about their children's access to inappropriate content on their app. TikTok allegedly lied about the prevalence of content related to drugs, nudity, and alcohol on its platform. Iowa is seeking financial penalties from TikTok. Reports say American tire manufacturer Goodyear is expected to name Mark Stewart as its chief executive officer. Stewart was a former executive at carmaker Stellantis. Goodyear plans to announce his appointment as soon as this week. Last year, the company said its longtime CEO, Richard Kramer, will retire in 2024. Tesla has slashed prices of its Model Y cars across Europe. In Germany, Tesla has reduced the prices of its Model Y long range and Model Y performance by more than $5,000. This represents a discount of 9% and 8.1% respectively. The price cuts come after Tesla also cut the prices of its vehicles in China. Meanwhile, in India, Tata Motors has reportedly urged the government not to cut taxes on hybrid cars. That's because they cause more pollution than pure electric vehicles. This may upset car makers like Toyota, who are calling for lower tax rates. In India, electric vehicles are taxed at 5%. Meanwhile, the levy on hybrid vehicles is as high as 43%. Indebted Chinese developer Country Garden has agreed to sell a stake in an Australian residential project. The firm's Australian arm, Risland Australia, will sell its remaining land holdings in Sydney. With this, the Chinese firm moves closer to a complete exit from the country. Country Garden is among a long list of developers facing a cash crunch. That is ever since it was hit by a debt crisis in mid-2021. Moving to sports, let's start with cricket. India beat Afghanistan by 10 runs in last night's double super over T20 thriller. India batted first and was struggling at 22 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. Captain Rohit Sharma and Rinku Singh took India to a mammoth total of 212 runs. Afghanistan ended their chase in a draw as they also managed to score 212 runs in their innings. Then the game went into a super over. Afghanistan batted first and scored 17 runs. India also ended drawing the super over. The match was then forced into the first ever double super over in T20 history. India batted first and scored 11 runs. Afghanistan were restricted to just 3 as the nail-biting match ended with the men in blue winning. Yesterday's match became the longest ever T20 game in history. Indian captain Rohit Sharma was the star of yesterday's match against Afghanistan. Sharma scored an unbeaten 121 when the Indian batting order had collapsed. This was Sharma's 5th century in T20 cricket. He has now set a new record for the most tons in short format matches. For his batting prowess, Sharma was declared player of the match. Indian batter Virat Kohli achieved an unwanted record in yesterday's match. Kohli was sent back to the pavilion without scoring a single run. He has now given up his wicket for a duck for the most number of times among Indian batters. Kohli has registered 35 ducks in his international career. In football, Morocco thrashed Tanzania 3-0 in yesterday's Africa Cup of Nations match. The game went into half-time with Morocco leading 1-0. In the second half, Tanzania were reduced to 10 players after midfielder Novatus Miroshi drew a second yellow card. Morocco went on to score more goals to seal the win. DR Congo drew with Zambia last night in the Africa Cup of Nations. Zambia scored in the 23rd on a goal from Kings Kangwa. DR Congo equalized 4 minutes later on a goal from Yohan Wissa. With the draw, both teams have secured 1 point each. India will play Uzbekistan in the AFC Asian Cup draw tonight. The Blue Tigers will look to bounce back from their 2-0 loss to Australia. Meanwhile, Uzbekistan will be eager to put their 0-0 draw with Syria behind and register a win. The match will be played at 8 p.m. India time. In tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic advanced to the third round of the Australian Open. Serbia's Djokovic was put to the test by Australia's Alexei Popyrin. Djokovic won the first set 6-3. Popyrin rallied to win the next set 6-4. Then the Serbian won the next 2 sets 7-6, 6-3 to win the match. Djokovic will next play Argentina's Thomas Echeverry on Saturday. World number 1 Iga Świątek advanced to the third round at the Australian Open. Poland's Świątek was given stiff competition by America's Danielle Collins. Świątek won the first set 6-4, then Collins rallied to clinch the second 6-3. The Pole then won the final set 6-4. Świątek will next face Czech Republic's Linda Noskova tomorrow. World number 2 Aryna Sabalenka also advanced at Melbourne. Belarusian Sabalenka beat her Czech Republic opponent 6-3, 6-2 in straight sets. The match lasted just over 50 minutes. Sabalenka will next play Ukraine's Lesia Surenko tomorrow. In basketball, Golden State Warrior assistant coach Dejan Milojevic has died at the age of 46. Milojevic fell ill at a private dinner on Tuesday and was rushed to the hospitals. The Warriors have confirmed that their coach suffered a heart attack. The NBA has called off the match between the Warriors and Utah Jazz after the sudden death of coach Milojevic. In entertainment news, actor Sophie Turner has dropped her wrongful retention claim against singer Joe Jonas. This comes 3 months after the former couple reached a custody agreement over their 2 daughters. According to reports, a U.S. judge dismissed the case after the two signed a consent plan. Sophie Turner had sued Joe Jonas last year, alleging he didn't allow their daughters to travel to the UK with her. Actor Arnold Schwarzenegger was detained in Germany's Munich airport after he failed to declare an expensive watch. The German Customs Department stopped him after he arrived from the US. The watch was due to be auctioned at a fundraising event for Schwarzenegger's climate initiative. According to reports, he will be charged with tax evasion. Actor Sharon Stone says she tried to make a Barbie film decades before Greta Gerwig's attempt in 2023. She recalls how she was dismissed at a Hollywood studio in the 1990s after she pitched her Barbie film. She took to Instagram and revealed that she was laughed out of the studio with her idea. Aquaman actor Jason Momoa is excited about his docuseries On the Roam. He says that he got to shed his acting persona and be himself the way he is in real life. The series shows the actor traveling across the US to meet people and immerse in local culture. On the Roam starts streaming from today. Oscar-winning actor Ariana DeBose talks about playing an astronaut for the first time in her film ISS. She chose to do the film because she wanted to do something new in her career. DeBose felt that her dancing background helped her perform stunts for the film. She also revealed that she watched NASA videos she found on YouTube to prepare her for the role. The film ISS will release tomorrow. Actor Pauly Shore has been roped in for the biopic of American fitness personality Richard Simmons. Shore said that he is really excited about sharing Simmons' life with the world. Meanwhile, the movie subject Simmons says he has not given permission for the film. The film is being developed by a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. The CEO of HBO, Casey Bloys, has revealed details about the network's upcoming projects. Speaking about Season 3 of Big Little Lies, he said he has heard about the idea and feels it will be great. Bureij also revealed that the chances of reviving Succession are pretty low. The work on Season 3 of House of the Dragon has also begun, and cameras will soon roll for the shoot of Season 3 of The Last of Us. The trailer of pop superstar Jennifer Lopez's upcoming film, This Is Me Now, A Love Story, released yesterday. It shows her journey to find love in her life. Lopez described the film as a narrative-driven cinematic odyssey steeped in mythological storytelling and personal healing. The film will start streaming from the 16th of February. Singer Ariana Grande will release her upcoming album Eternal Sunshine on the 8th of March. She made the announcement on Instagram. The album's lead single released last Friday. Video game publisher Ubisoft will launch a new Prince of Persia game today after 14 years. It has been titled Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Players will be on a mission to rescue Prince Ghassan. The folklore of Prince of Persia has been widely used in films and in graphic novels. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to First Post.